Hello guys and welcome to the newest Rhino tutorial. We had some weeks off and this is our first tutorial in the new year. So let's get started right away. So today I wanted to show you a special project that I found online. It's called York House Proposal, designed by an architect called Alex Nerovnya, a Russian architect. I'm really impressed by the concepts that this architect is developing, so I wanted to use this opportunity to feature him and to show off some of these projects. This is really amazing stuff, and I really like the style that all of these houses are built in. You can see that it's always surrounded by nature, which is something I really like. And in this particular example today, I'm going to show you how to model this house, and we're gonna go through some of the detailing on the house. It's not a very complex design to build, but I just wanted to go through some of the details on the model that we can have this in the exterior. So I will link to this architect with his website and also Instagram, so you can follow him. And let's get started. Okay, so let's drag and drop some of these images, and let's put in the elevation, and let's put in the base plan. And based on these two, we're going to create the building. I'm going to try to position them as close as I can. So first let's create a rectangle, and I'll just use trim command to trim a little bit of image here that we don't need. We also can do this with this bottom one, so we have a less space to work with. And now let's create one line here and one line here, and we're going to use those as guides to see where our building will start and end. I'm going to use scale command now, and let me just create one more line here that's going to be here, and let's do scale. I'm going to go from here until here, and I have the scaling right already. We can delete the lines, and now we can put this into perspective. Let's bring it up like this, 90 degrees, and let's go to the side view maybe, and also see where we want this 0 to be. So let's say it's here. Okay, so we want to put this in 0 position, like so. And we're ready. So now we can start. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna trace this drawing. So this is not something that is very interesting to watch, but I'm gonna show you one example, and then I'm gonna speed up so you know how to do the rest. So I'm gonna just create a polyline around this, and I'm gonna follow. I'm holding shift in some places to have the 90 degrees angle. Now if you want to continue with the line, let me just bring the line back. So now I forgot that I need to put the textures, the material to transparent so I can see through, like so, and I can lock it. Now if you want to continue this guy, you can simply go here and then continue, and then I'm gonna trim the rest like so, and I'm gonna connect one more line here on the top and trim this. And now we can join all of those guys, and I'm gonna do the same to this element. I'm gonna try to mirror it to see if maybe it's gonna be the same dimensions. Let's check. Maybe it's gonna be, yeah, actually it is. Perfect. So we don't need to do it twice. Yep, something like this. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now I'm gonna create this rectangle. I want to snap first here, and then scale 1D, bring it up, and scale 1D again, bring it down, and let's see, I think this goes all the way down, probably. Okay, one thing I don't like, this is maybe too pale, so I want to increase that a bit back a bit. Okay, and what I can do, I can put my default layer to be red so I can see the lines better. One cool thing you can do here, if you put the print width to something else, like for example, let's say 1, and you can click here, print preview, and those lines will now be thicker. And you can see them much clearer. Let's bring this, actually let's bring the whole structure here to 0. 0, 0, 0. That's it. Now you can see what I was talking about. Like they're much more pronounced lines. Now let's do the offset. Let's lock this guy. And I'm gonna do offset here. I should put maybe 20, too much. Let's do again offset of 2, too much. Offset of, let's say 0.2. Yeah, that's close. So I'm gonna say distance of 0.15 on the inside, and that's it. I'm gonna do the same here, and I'm gonna do the same here. Here it's a little bit more, so I'm gonna do offset 0.20 inside. There you go. And let's lower down a bit now this thickness. So for example, I want to create all of these stairs, so I'm gonna just create one rectangle, and then let's try, maybe they're the same size. They seem to be the same size, like so. This one is longer, it's going there in the ground. Then we have a couple of more. We can put them on a separate layer as steps. And we can say this is some other layer. And if you want to change the layer, just click here, right click, change object layer. Now we can unlock this, and we can put this on also on a separate layer. Let's say images, right click, and now for example, if I move this up and if I lock it, then I can hide my lines. These were like building lines. Okay. All right, so let's continue on. So I'm gonna do the same here, I think here. Let's bring this back. Scale 1D. Boom. And we have a couple of more. Have this one. Scale 1D. And this one. Scale 1D. And we're pretty much done. I think this is actually the part of the building there. So we're not gonna touch that. What we can do, we can create maybe these rectangles here. And let's copy them. And that's all we're gonna need. Okay. And this will be the part of the building. We can say match properties and use the same layers like so. Okay, so this is fine. And one last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create also this this line here as a ground line, just to know later on if I decide to create this ground, I'm gonna try to use this line, or we can use something else, we'll see, but we need the line no matter what. Okay, and then we can also create these two lines, and it's gonna be this one. I'm gonna copy it over like so. And there's one more line here, if I see correctly. There it is. Okay, so we have everything that we need. And now I'm gonna try to go to the top view and see if this is all matching up with my base plan. Here's my base plan. And we want to check, see if, yeah, actually that all works. So now let's start building. I'm gonna bring this in. Let's actually take out all of these lines and let's put them somewhere here. This is going to be the front. So the first thing that I would do, I would bring this, let's lock this guy. and let's bring these here. So I'm gonna say set point. I'm gonna say Y direction, click OK, go to the top and then click here. And these guys would be here. There it is. And now we can just extrude them. So if you do, now we can, for example, create a layer called 3D or something. Then you can later on organize this better. And let's keep it as default one. Let's go extrude curve. Let's bring it until here. And if you go to the shaded mode, you will see the result. Let's bring this a little bit lighter, something like this. And we can do the same thing here. But these guys will need to go a bit more. But for now, let's just bring them until here, like so. And this guy, let's do scale 1D and let's extend it until the end, like so. Okay. And now if you take a look at the image here, you will see that this is how it looks from the side. So we're going to incorporate a little bit of this detailing on the facade. So I'm gonna first create here the cap. I'm gonna say cap, cap, cap. There it is. And now I'm gonna let me just take a look here. Okay, so let's do one inset. Let's go with offset here. Let's put 0.1, and that should be fine. And let's do the same thing here. Offset inside. There it is. And here, what I want to do, I want to actually split this element. So I'm going to use this curve. I'm going to copy it over, and I'm going to create one extrusion from it. And I'm going to say Boolean split. I'm going to split this guy. So now we have two inside, and then one more time, I'm going to do the same thing here with this line. I'm going to take this line, the most inset line, and I'm going to extrude it as well. And I'm going to say Boolean split one more time. So we have three of these elements, and I'm going to do the same thing here. We can try with both at the same time. So I'm going to first do the extrusion, and I'm going to say Boolean split first with the outer one, and then Boolean split again with the inner one. And that would give me these three as individual cuts. That's what we want. So now I'm gonna just take a look at a reference picture. It shows me that this outer element is a little bit goes inward, but it goes inward maybe from here. So I'm gonna also cut this guy on these places here. This is what I'm talking about. You can see how this one is continuous, but then this one is a little bit off. So that's what we're gonna create now. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna cut it here, and I'm gonna cut it, let's say here, and I'm gonna use these two, extrude them, and let's do Boolean split. We need to bring these guys a little bit up, like so. Boolean split. It says Boolean split failed. In this case, let's isolate this. Let's see, let's investigate what is the problem. So let me check again. So let's extract this surface, and let's hide this guy. And now we can just split here, for example. Or we can trim, whatever it's easier for you. I can say trim, trim, and there it is. Okay, so now I can take back this, and I can use this surface, and I can say extrude surface, bring it there, and then delete the rest. So I have this outer shell, and once I have that shell, you can see now I have more thickness, and I want this one from the inside as well. And this middle area I also want to scale down. So I'm gonna first take both of them. I'm gonna scale them down just a tiny bit. Then I'm gonna take this one and scale it even more. And this guy, this big one that we just did. Let's cap it. It actually goes from here, something like this. And this edge is a little bit up. So I'm gonna just take solid points on, bring it up like so. So we get that same effect like here on the side. And that's how we get creative with that one. Okay, so the next thing we can do, we can create this side window. So I'm gonna approximate here the size. Actually, I don't need to have the base plan, so I can use it here. And I can say, okay, this is the side. Let me see what I can do with it. I'm gonna scale it up. I'm gonna scale 1D, like so. Bring it up. Let me just see where it goes. Goes all the way until here, let's say. So I'm gonna bring it up, like so. We can put this element until there. We can use scale 1D as well. And cool thing now, I'm gonna isolate these two only. And I'm gonna cap this guy. And let me see. I'm gonna bring it in, like so. Maybe slightly down. And if I see it correctly, that should work. Let me just scale it just for the thickness of this guy here. Okay, now I'm gonna say Boolean split, and I have my window. Here it is. That's my window. If you want to create more details on it, you can do so. For example, we can scale this down a bit. For example, we can take this and we can say duplicate border. We can join it, and then when we have this border, we can offset it, and we can use the same principle as before. So I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna extrude the inner one. I don't like this color. Let's bring it like this. Okay, and now once I have this guy, now I can do the inset. Sorry, Boolean split. So let's do Boolean split. And we have the window here. And for example, if you want to create the thickness of the window, you can simply isolate this, and you can go ahead from this side, and let's create one line here. And we can do the offset of this line, for example, 0.03. And then we have this other line that we can use, and I'm gonna select this, extend it just a tiny bit here and here. And now what we do, we take this line, we extrude it here, and we do Boolean split, and we have our window here. And that's how you do it. All right, so we have it. We have the window here with our details that we can use later on. If you want to create maybe like an edge here, you can also use a command called offset surface. So let me show you. You can say, you can select these surfaces, and you can say extract surface. You can join them, and then you can say offset surface, and this will bring us the window where you can say the thickness that you want. So I'm gonna say 0.03 again, enter, rounded, solid, sharp, enter, and now we have the thickness as well. There it is. Okay, so this is the amount of detailing that we're gonna go through. And of course, I want to create also these guys. So the way to create the steps, you can just simply use planar surface, and because we already have the lines, and then we can just of course extrude them in space. So since I don't have the actual length of these guys, I'm gonna try to approximate here, see which ones go where. Okay, so I'm gonna place them in the appropriate positions here. Let's say that this guy goes here, this one goes a little bit down, this one goes a little bit more down, and so on. So I'm gonna put them, for example, something like this, and so on. So you get the idea. I'm just trying to distribute them evenly, something like this. And then of course you can simply select all of them by holding Shift. And once you do that, you can say extrude surface, and you can go all the way inward or all the way here. And let's cap these guys. And the cool thing you can do, you can say set point, bring them all in one place. For example, that would be here, because this building will have the will have also the foundations. So for example, these lines here that we created, we're gonna use them. I'm gonna create one more line here. Let me just take all of these. I'm gonna drag them here, and I'm gonna create a rectangle from them. A rectangle from here to here. And I can do fillet with radius of 0 to connect all of these. Of course, they need to be in the same plane. Fillet, and there it is. And now I can do this until here, and on this guy until here. So this would be our the same way. Let's go set point, and let's bring it to here, and let's do extrude curve till here. So we have something that our house will stand on. This side maybe we can extend, but we'll see. Okay, so that's the idea. I'm gonna unlock these images and show you the result we got. And let's also hide this guy. Okay, so this is how the house would look like. And of course, I'm gonna also the same way that I created this side, I'm gonna create this one as well. And then this guy is going to be used the same kind of principle that we used to inset everything inside, like so, and to have a little bit more details here on in these areas. All right, and now the last thing I want to show you is in case you want to create this kind of terrain, you can either use this line. You can say, okay, I want this to be my terrain, so you can simply extrude it, and it will have that fall. Or another cool thing you can do, you can use that line, and you can use another line here, but you can maybe change it slightly. You can, for example, change maybe the rotation a bit, or maybe you can change also, you can rebuild it and change the amount of points, let's say 10 points. And now you can see it's more smooth, and I can maybe bring it up a little bit. And for example, what I can do, I can say I also want one line in the middle, which is maybe totally something else, but not too far away. So I'm gonna say rebuild, let's say 5, and then I can use points here to actually change my curve and to have different kind of effect, maybe some hill or some valley, like this. And then the last thing, we can use loft, and we can output it as sub D. And what this means is that when you are finished with it, you can use sub D vertices like here to actually play around with your terrain, and you can modify it quite well here. If you want to also modify the vertices, for example here, you would need to import some of those edges. So I'm going to say insert edge, bring one edge here, for example, and now I have more vertices here that I can play around with, change that shape, and change how my terrain looks like, and then maybe bring it down or whatever I want to do with it. Okay, so that would be what I wanted to show you in today's tutorial. This is the final look. This is how I modified everything. Hope that you like the tutorial. I'd like to give a special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters, and a special welcome to Mark, Man, Parimal, Tara, Jen, Sean, and Maria. You're our new Patreons from our previous tutorial. So if you guys wish to have the project files for this tutorial or all the other project files, you can get them by joining us on Patreon. There's a link in the first comment. And if you have any questions for me or any suggestions for maybe some kind of future tutorials, please leave them down in the comment section. So thank you again for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.